Yeah, I think crucially as well, because of the way this works, the top 2 teams on each day will qualify through to Sunday. So even if RDU and Habu Gabu pick up like another first and second in this lobby that we just have upcoming, stretch out that lead even more, the other 3 teams still have plenty to play for, right? They still have that second place to shoot for, which right now we can see is very, very tightly contested with only 5 points between the other 3 players. Come on, Izum, I believe in you. Shenvala Gaming, let's go.
Yeah, it looks like Izum has a lot of choices. Shenvala, Barov, KT, and Bigglesworth, I think they're all playable in some form or another. Some are a little bit more high roll. I think the Shenvala would be probably, and the Bigglesworth would be more of the high roll picks. But he's gonna go for the safe play, probably the safest picks out of them, and go for just the KT here.
Yeah, I think, seriously, if I was playing the tournament with everything on the line myself, I would have taken the Kael'thas there as well. And then maybe even considered the Barov as a second pick, because I do think Barov is very powerful with the additional information that you get, and we did see a lot of that on day 1.
I think actually I do like the Barov here. With the additional information you get from your player, it actually becomes a lot less of a risk, knowing that, okay, I can see 2 different board states, or I can get information from 2 different board states. Right. It actually helps a significant amount, so I might have went for that high roll there.
Wait, what happened? So swapped the 2-1 and picked up the 1-1 token. This is one of the cute plays that you can make with Jandis. Very similar to like Shutterwalk, right? Where you use your hero power to force triples off of the tokens by swapping it back into the shop and eventually ending up with a triple on that 1-1 token at the end.
So you can see that the Jandis, the RDU, he hero powered the 2-1 instead of the 1-1, right? Some people who might not be familiar will be asking, why did he hero power the 2-1 instead of the 1-1? Why is he locking, etc., etc.? What he's trying to do is he's trying to triple the token early. So he's keeping the token in his hand, hero powering the 2-1 so that he can replay the 2-1, get the extra 1-1 triple, and in about 1 or 2 turns will be able to get a token triple and get an early upgraded minion.
Habu Gabu here hits his partner in the early game. He will now be facing against RDU on that Jandis, and I think the tie situations are very easy to engineer. You can see it already. Like, Habu just has to not hero power, and RDU has to play no additional minions from what he had previously.
This is probably one of the easiest ties they're going to be able to orchestrate in this tournament, and glad to see they can pull off the beginner level ties and even the expert level ties at times.
What's interesting is it could have potentially slowed down RDU's game plan, although I guess not, because he was going to level that turn anyway. But since he wasn't able to use his hero power, in danger of like swapping into a bigger minion and actually dealing damage to Habu Gabu, that might have slowed him down a little bit. But I think he would have just been happy to press the level button there.
Alexis Diesel has a pretty good shop here. 2 tokens in the shop. He can buff up the Murloc insanely, and hero power having a full board on turn 5, which is not too common. Okay, gonna swap. Okay, I like this play as well. He's gonna get the full board, but swap for an extra pair as well. So in a good position here.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
One thing he could have done instead is he could have had the token have 2 instead of having the alley can have 2 instead, but either way it works out for him.
Yeah, huge attack as well, picking up that 3 free gold. Alexis Diesel is now rich beyond his wildest dreams.
Yeah, it's always nice to get to hero power for Rafam and get 3 gold instead of 1. It's like they're giving out savings today. We're looking at Kindly Grandmother for the Lich King. It's a pretty good hero power for him there. He should be able to deal with the Deathwing. The one issue against Deathwing is Deathwings tend to have a lot of Death Rattle minions, so hopefully the extra value that he's getting from the Kindly Grandmother will be able to salvage this game plan. I kind of want to see what Sinet is doing today. He's playing Alec here, and we haven't really taken a look at what his board state's like. It's kind of oh wow, very small board state. It looks like he leveled up here and not really caring about how much damage he's going to take here, not locking for the pair, not taking the pair, anything. Just really didn't like these rolls in this side, deciding I don't care about the damage, I'm just going to level up and see if I can find a better roll next turn. He's actually not going to take as much damage as I thought he would be, only taking 6 damage here. Yeah, so he's in a decent spot. He gets 1 extra mana to roll and find 2 good minions. We do know that pirates are not, dragons are not in the lobby, so he can't get a bronze warden. Demons also being out, but these are some decent minions. Maybe not exactly what he's looking for, but they should suffice for this turn, as long as the opponent isn't too strong.
Yeah, it's reasonable at least. Like, they're good chunks of stats, which is kind of what you need when you level to Tavern 3 early, right? You just need to pick up big bundles of stats so you can actually start winning some fights and not get punished way too hard for the greedy level.
Okay, so deciding he didn't want those minions, just looking for the Deathwell minions so he could maybe get some value. He also knows that Deathwing's in the lobby, so it makes Rat Pack and the other beast a little bit more enticeful, because you know if you do fight them, you're going to have a really good advantage, but ends up going just for the pair.
Yeah, ends up going a different way entirely and just setting up for the pair on this turn. Obviously, just by nature of Alec here, he does have one extremely high-quality minion that on 7 gold you would expect a 4/6 Wind Fury Divine Shield to be doing a lot of work here, especially against RDU, who last we saw was building Murloc tokens on his board, so it might actually end up being pretty huge.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult for the Alec here. The leveling up was a very risky play, one of those plays you make if you really don't like your options, but could end up being a huge punish if you don't get a minion that you really want to see.
RDU making something happen with the Jandis here, and also has picked up that Righteous Protector, just almost as an immediate Alec here counter card, right? Just throwing it up there as a blocker against the Wind Fury opening.
Oh, wow. He was so close to tying here. I was really surprised. Like, his board was relatively weak, but he was able to orchestrate it in a way that he doesn't take too much damage there.
And we join Salty on the Deathwing here. Doesn't have the most synergistic Deathwing board going just yet, but that shop does present some opportunities. There's more Murloc pairs, but there's also just the Infested Wolf for a high-value Deathwing token minion here if he wants it.
Yeah, he's just trying to find a board where he can scale. He decided to just level here. He's feeling comfortable just because his board's full, and with Deathwing, you kind of equalize a lot of advantages you can make by rolling, so he just goes for the greedy level.
Yeah, I like it too. Hanzo here discovering a 5 and has hit the Bran at the first opportunity. He is going to be Sir Salty's opponent here in this fight.
So he's going for the brand. Maybe probably has Murloc synergy in the shop that he might pick up. Light Fang wouldn't have been as good because there's only 2 archetypes. He could have picked up the pirate to buff that, but you're not going to keep that for the long run. So just.
And it looks like from just how the gold has worked out that he's actually piggy-banked this turn, right? You can see the deactivated hero power as well. Like because he's on 8 gold, he used the piggy bank to actually be able to spike that Tavern 5 Discover a turn early. And
yeah, that's
actually
a good catch.
Pretty big payout actually by hitting the brand there.
Yeah, so now you can see he has a game plan, probably with the Murloc. That's why he took the Murloc pair, hoping to use something with the Murloc engine to facilitate a game plan and win the lobby.
And small hit, 7 damage, still fairly small at this side of the game with Sir Salty greedy leveling as well. If you go up to Tavern 4 a turn early, you are expecting to take some damage, so I don't think Salty will be too upset with that loss.
Yeah, it would be really sad if the Sky Captain used his hero power and then also lost.
Yeah,
You'd just be like, what was the point of that then? So I'm glad that he won, just for a mental standpoint.
Taking a look back at Salty now as to what he's going to find on Tavern 4. Did pick up an Annoyer module already, which is obviously one of the best possible cards, and does have a couple of mech options to be able to be putting this on. But he is still looking like he's very much in the building stages of what his comp's going to end up being.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough. I mean, he does have the extra Annoyer module, which will help him immensely, but in terms of a composition, he doesn't really have anything like that. He does have the makings of half a mech comp if he can find a Deflectobot and maybe some micro machines. He could go from there, but right now it's looking a little bit directionless so far.
It is. We're just looking at the state of the lobby overall. You can see RDU once again, Tavern 5 ahead of the lobby on Taverns and still at 40 health. We'll see if RDU takes a big hit this round in particular, or whether even he's been able to greedy level by fighting against Habu Gabu multiple times. We can see it's not this round because Salty is playing against Habu Gabu here. But once again, Habu Gabu and RDU seem to be in very comfortable spots.
Yeah, we'll see. We're taking a look at Habu Gabu's board, he looks like a pretty decent board state for turn 7. I mean, yeah, so hopefully he can transition into like a full beast comp right now, or triple into something that can give him a little bit more consistent direction. This is a pretty good board, but it's not a board that will carry you to the late game, so he needs to find something or he'll fall out of favor real fast.
Yo, that unstable ghoul is so clutch. Sniping out the extra minion on the damage golem and forcing the tie for Habu Gabu. We do now get to take a look at what RDU's doing, and he's back. He's back in his old patch comfort zone.
The nuts.
He's back playing Murlocs.
This is actually so strong with Jandis because you can now continuously hero power the 3/2 lookout and just get so many extra Murlocs every single turn. So I honestly think he may have just won the lobby with that roll. It's actually so strong.
Completely agree. Yeah, I think based on everyone that we've seen, he is certainly in prime position right now. I don't know if our observers spy anyone else that might be able to compete with this nonsense, but right now I think RDU is looking extremely strong.
Yeah, it's so disgusting. I think RDU's played really well. Also been quite lucky though as well, getting good heroes and getting the little extra taps from Bob from time to time. So it looks to see he's in an extremely commanding spot, full life still. So even if he takes a heavy loss once or twice, he'll still be able to recalibrate and figure out what went wrong in those matches. So definitely a player to watch. And it looks like his teammate Habu Gabu has found the gold rune and is able to hero power that. So he's also in a really good spot, being able to flesh out his beast comp quickly in the next following turns.
Yeah, he is also full 5 minion Andy this turn though, so whether he's got enough to stave off this kind of equally huge refarm board. The Alexis Diesel here on the refarm does not have the long-term scaling that RDU has right now, but in terms of immediate power, he's well up there as well.
But you can see how strong this gold rune is for Habu Gabu here, right? It looked kind of hopeless at the beginning, right? But once you see the second gold rune hit, you can really see it's a little bit closer than you might be anticipating.
Oh, the Tavern tier of these minions is going to count for a lot as to how much damage this takes, and a gold rune drops out. 13 damage taken for Habu Gabu, but he does at least have that gold rune of his own.
But you can really see he was really close, and he only had 5 minions. So we're looking at Olias. Unfortunately, couldn't make the transition and ended up in 8th place. I wonder what he was running.
Yeah, and this is Oliak's partner now, Alexis Diesel, who we just saw previously. As I said, in terms of power right now, he's kind of pretty far up there, but he doesn't have that long-term scaling that we know that RDU has with the Bran and the Primal Fin Lookout cycle off the hero power. So he needs to find some way to continue to get stronger. Boom! There it is.
What a massive roll there. It was looking he was between 2 game compositions, right, with the 2 Mama Bears and then with the Murloc engine, but looks like this brand pickup will be able to clean him out. Now he'll probably sell the Mamas here. Yeah, get both of the jugs and get those scaling. So it looks like a really good turn for him. Now he has direction. Now he can maybe compete with the massive Janda scaling that will be coming out soon. And by soon, I mean immediately.
And as we rejoin RDU, we see him in his natural habitat, high rolling another golden 5-drop with a Bran on the board. Okay.
It's looking rough for the rest of the players. Whoever is going to be fighting RDU will be saying farewell relatively quickly, it seems to be.
Yeah, I don't know how many tokens Salty has been able to scrounge together, but I don't think they're going to be keeping up with these 30 health Murlocs on the other side of the board.
This is a very familiar scene so far. Sir Salty fighting someone on the red team with an insane board so quickly and laughing to himself, thinking, how did they get this already? Every time. It's just very common in these lobbies so far.
I mean, actually, like, in a vacuum, he's got a pretty strong Deathwing board going on when I look at how many microbots are actually inside some of those minions, but now the board comes out. Okay, that's actually a blessing in disguise.
But it's not enough, though. He's still going to lose.
Yep.
What a shame.
Yeah, so Salty is going to go out in 7th, possibly 6th if someone else dies here, but they do not. So Sir Salty, who has been one of the most consistent performers throughout the early rounds, is going to take his first big loss there, going out in 7th place with the Deathwing. Joining back up with Habu Gabu now, as we see him really just trying to fill his board out with powerful beasts, right? That's all he will have been doing for the last couple of turns, looking for that Baron Rivendare as well.
Also needs to find a Baron too.
Yeah.
That's really one of the key things he's looking for as well.
Just the power of that reborn Goldrin, though, as Collins was saying, is going to make... essentially, he has a built-in Baron, right? If you want to look at it that way, with the just having the reborn on his Goldrin. But that still means if he's able to find the Baron to support it, that scales his board enormously, because it is going to start falling off fairly quickly if he doesn't find other ways to increase the buffs.
Yeah, so you can see with these compositions, there's a couple of things you're looking for, right? Baron being one very key with the Goldrin, and Macaw being very key, but he also has the 2 cleaves that you really need to be able to dominate in the later stages of the game. So he has half of the setup. He needs to find the Macaw, he needs to find the Baron. And probably why he's not finding those Macaws is they're being taken by other players.
Yeah, beasts do seem relatively scattered out throughout the lobby right now, making it very hard for anyone to really hit super hard. But Synod
unfortunately.
Here,
I think you can win this.
I was going to say, unfortunately, he's against RDU, so it doesn't really matter.
That is true. And it is, RDU can actually do a double favor here, because not only is he going to kill a player and, move his partner Habu Gabu closer up to those top 2 spots as well, but he's also going to throw those Wolves and Macaws back into the pool, right, for Habu Gabu to be able to potentially pick up.
Yeah, something very impressive that the RDU and Habu Gabu have been doing these rounds is just destroying players. They have been the ones knocking players out of these lobbies, right? So the way they're able to facilitate getting consistent 1st and 2nd places is because they're the ones in the power. They're not waiting for other people to get strong. They're the ones becoming strong, having one of them being the dominant player of the lobby and knocking people out. And then when they fight each other, they make themselves weak.
Here we see Alexis Diesel with some pretty impressive looking Murlocs of his own, to be quite honest. We saw that brand get rolled into a couple of turns ago, but he is going to be up against RDU here. And yet again, here we are, Collins. We are in top 3, and who is still alive? Habu Gabu and RDU. They have the potential yet again to be able to be taken down a 1-2, but there is a lot of stats yet to be added to this board with the amount of resources Alexis has in hand. Do you think he's anywhere close to RDU at the moment?
I think if he can find another poison, he might be able to not die.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if he can win the round, but I do think if he can roll into another poison here, he might be able to take enough minions off the board that he doesn't get a huge loss, but we shall see. He does have a Selfless in his hand that he can be using. He's thinking about not playing his Murloc here, which I don't think you can afford. You have to play it as strong as you are. He actually looks like he's not going to play the Murloc, greeding a little bit because he doesn't want to. He wants to hold on to the pair. Maybe this greed will be the determining factor for his loss here.
Oh, you sweet summer child. You underestimate how hard RDU can high roll here. 40 health, Murloc build. I think Alexis Diesel might just be in trouble.
Yeah, I think here you have to be looking at your opponent and saying, like, oh, he's been knocking out all of the other players. Maybe I need to be a little bit less greedy here and play as many buffs as possible. But looks like he doesn't do that. We'll see if it turns out in his favor and he will be able to survive.
He did get the Selfless Hero to land on the Poisonous minion, which then dodges all of the tokens as well with his Divine Shield attack. So this is about as well as the fight could have gone for Alexis Diesel up to this point.
Okay, wow. The greed play out worked for him.
Yep.
He didn't take the damage, and now he has the potential to triple. So he understands how strong he is in comparative to his opponent, and decides to hold off on the greed play, and it works out for him.
And now means that Alexis gets the ghost fight here, so he's got the one full turn of scaling if he wants it. And do you think fishing for that Selfless Hero triple is the most efficient thing he can use this turn on?
Yeah, I think maybe he might want to get rid of the gas coiler here, and he does find the triple that he kept. So his greed. So he is keeping the Gas curler, I think that's a little bit weird because the gas curler cannot scale, and you know that your opponent is going to be playing scaling Murlocs. You know that this gas curler is not going to be strong enough to compete with the Murlocs that you're going to be fighting. So I do think it's a little bit weird that he's keeping that gas curler a turn or two longer, knowing that it's not going to be strong enough in the end game.
Poisonous Spore found as well. Like, it's got to be at least worth consideration. You know how huge RDU's Murlocs are going to get, right? Like, normally when you're the Rafarm in this situation and you're fighting a mirror match for like top 2, top 3, you feel like you're in the driver's seat, right? Because you're going to steal so many key minions from their comp, which is so similar to yours. But even if he was to get like a Bagurgle every single round, that would
look at him.
That would not be better than RDU bouncing Primal Fin lookouts with Bram Bronzebeard every
What
single
a
time.
fantastic play from RDU here, using the ability of the Jandis to hold on to multiple minions in his hand so that Habu Gabu can potentially survive this round. You know that even if RDU loses and takes damage here, it doesn't matter because he's actually so strong in the lobby. So he intentionally, like we were saying before, is making his board significantly weaker than if he was fighting anyone else and being able to facilitate possibly a tie or even a win for Habu Gabu. What a massive cleave.
That cleave was insane. Obviously, it does not matter that much because it's still only a tier 1 minion that is sticking around. So even with Habu Gabu on Tavern 6, it's only going to be 7 damage going through to Jandis. But that was an extremely clutch cleave in a vacuum there for Habu Gabu. But once again, we've said it so many times, but they have been by far the best at engineering ties out of any of the players that we've seen so far. That was very, very close again from the 2 players.
This might be a bait. You can see that Habu Gabu's thinking about this. Oh, is it a bait, you know, or is it not? Decides to go for it. Maybe he's looking for the poison or another gold run. He finds a triple gold run. That is a really good reason to go for that triple on the cleave as well, right? Because finding that gold run is really one of the key things he needs. Unfortunately, he does need to find the Baron that he still doesn't have. So we'll see if this is enough. It's looking a little bit rough for him.
It is indeed. I do think like hitting the triple on the Goldrin was the only world where tripling the Hydra wasn't a bait, I think. And like because that's so unlikely to happen, I personally would not have gone for it there, but maybe Habu Gabu just understands that he's not strong enough to win this fight otherwise, so he needs to try and do something a little bit outside of the box and a little bit high rolly, and in that context, I think the play makes sense.
Yeah, you can see that he is getting information from RDU fighting him before, so he knows that he's probably not strong enough to make that decision. You can see that he did sell the gas curler, which brings into question him not selling it earlier and getting that extra buffs on those Murlocs. So something to look out for.
Absolutely. But +8/+8 getting added to this board 3 times means he is actually getting up there. He's getting pretty close in terms of matching the stats. But the Goldrin is going to summon far right now, of course, due to the positioning of Habu Gabu.
Yeah, it's a really close, it's a surprisingly close round, but it still does look like Habu Gabu does lose, unfortunately, to the Murloc engine. However, the nice thing is that Alexis Diesel is most likely going to fight RDU next, and probably won't be able to stack up, so we'll see what ends up for him.
Nice work out there.
Cold Light Seer immediately into the hand here for RDU, and once again, like, we haven't really been seeing this operate, but all he's doing is just bouncing away that Primal Fin lookout back into the shop, buying it again, discovering 2 Murlocs off the brand that he has, essentially making that happen for free every single time, which is absolutely insane Murloc scaling over the course of the game.
On Habu Gabu's side, you can see he found the Baron finally. This will really increase how strong he is now. He also found another Macaw, so now he's in a favorable spot. I bet if he had a rematch with Alexis Diesel, there might be a different outcome. So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, and what that's leading to for RDU is a bunch of very high APM turns here, which, you know, I don't think is RDU's strong suit, having watched his stream a lot. I think he would confess that himself, but he does seem to be handling the situation very, very nicely right now.
I think he's got all the skills necessary. You can see that he's been dominating this board. It kind of feels a little wrong to be talking smack about a player that has been destroying all the lobbies so far. So I think he has all the skills necessary to get a clean win here.
RDU spent an entire GM season dominating the competition, and I still talk smack about it whenever I have the opportunity. Okay, like this is just gonna happen.
Got this. You're
All right.
way ahead.
Fair enough. So we're going to see, this is probably one of the more important matches to see. It's really tough for Alexis Diesel here because both of the players are teammates. So you're getting double the information. Everyone knows your board state every single round. And you have to beat both of them, and they're all higher health than you. So if you tie, if someone loses by accident and you lose at the same time, you also get third. So he's in a really tough board state. He's trying to make a stand, you know, trying to get the advantage and so that he can you know, get the points for his team. But it's a rough go, but he's able to do it so far.
Yeah, and I think he's absolutely doing the right thing as well, which is he's given up trying to go for stats against RDU, right? He knows RDU's scaling is much better than his is with the Infinite Murloc generation, so he's transitioned out to Poison Divine Shield comp instead, which is what's allowing him to win these fights right now. Habu Gabu is really the player that's left behind, and this shop was pretty much the exact kind of thing he needed this turn.
Yeah, I think this is actually getting a little bit scary for RDU and Habu Gabu because now they're fighting each other, right? They might accidentally kill each other if things go wrong, especially for RDU. It's very easy to deal 12, where dealing 21 with the board that Habu Gabu has is a little bit difficult. So RDU, though, is the stronger player right now, so he has to facilitate a board state that can keep his board strong enough to not take too much damage. And he, oh my god. Okay, maybe. I really do think that it's super close. The one issue here is that Habu Gabu doesn't have 2 cleaves. He's finding the other gold rune. I think that could end up not working in his favor, though.
Yeah, this could technically make him weaker, right? With the Parrot activating the smaller gold rune instead of the bigger one.
Yeah. He needs to win this round. I don't think he'll kill RDU, but RDU can definitely kill Habu Gabu, so we're going to see what happens here.
Insane stats about to come through right now. What I will say is having the second wolf here is a very nice insurance policy against... Okay, I was going to say it's ridiculously unlikely for a Wind Fury minion to snipe the same wolf twice, but then it just immediately happened. So, yeah, this is at least an insurance policy against that happening.
Well, I don't think RDU was like trying to make his board any weaker. The positioning seems to be set up to kill Habu Gabu here, but we'll see if the cleave can carry him.
Okay, the cleave did need to attack, and
what a massive
dead center murders the poisonous minions, and it's going to be Habu Gabu now with the opportunity to try and take down the reform of Alexis Diesel. This is one of the most intense top 2s, top 3 situations that we've seen all weekend, Colin.
That's actually perfect for RDU and Habu Gabu because now they have another chance to take him out, and it looks like it's the Habu Gabu who's having the opportunity to take on Alexis Diesel. If he falls down here, then RDU is going to have a chance. Alexis Diesel, oh my. Everything's riding on him.
Selfless Hero has to be better than one extra beast here, right? Knowing that your opponent is just playing like full poison comp on the other side, like both opponents are playing full poison comp. Like, isn't Selfless Hero the nuts in this situation?
Yeah, the only scary part is if the Selfless Hero gets triggered by the Macaw, and you don't get the buff. So there's a little bit scary. You can put the Selfless Hero first to try to mitigate that eventuality, but you are putting a bit of risk into your game plan once you start adding those extra death rattles in.
But even then, like, think about the comps that he's up against, right? Like, Alexis Diesel, last time we saw him, just had, like, 1/1 Divine Shield Poisonous, right? Like, he doesn't need the parrots to activate the Goldrins. He needs, like, sticky minions that survive these poisonous attacks. So I definitely like going for Selfless Hero here.
Yeah, I think it is needed. You have to make those judgment calls and risk-reward assessments as well.
Yo, Divine Shield protection on the Wolf means that it's going to be hanging around for this Parrot to potentially get the full activation of the triple Goldrin. Does hit the small one first, though.
Does hit the big one afterwards. I do think the key factor in this battle is the Cleave getting the Divine Shield.
Yes, agreed. That's monstrous. If it gets to attack twice, that's probably going to be a huge situation for Habu Gabu. And it's looking like there's a good chance of it doing that. Only 2 poisonous attacks left remaining. Divine Shield's all completely removed. So this is going to be a clean win from this point, I think, for Habu Gabu. And they've done it. They have secured top 2 yet again.
What a massive play. We thought that Habu Gabu would be the one falling behind, right, with the 2 Murloc compositions, but he was able to find the exact roles he needed to make a composition that could actually take out Alexis Diesel. You could see that RDU was losing to Alexis Diesel here. So if Habu Gabu couldn't pull his weight and get that victory over Alexis Diesel, it's very likely that Alexis Diesel could have taken the whole thing. So massive props to Habu Gabu here to find the answers.
And then triple selfless hero just to round it all out. What a comeback story from Habu Gabu. Looks like he is going to be in prime position to take down this lobby now, just with the insane amount of stats plus Divine Shield that he's going to have available.
Yeah, he can definitely sell his Goldrin and his 7/7. Yeah, I like this play to end with the poison and the cleave on the board. I think this makes a lot of sense.
Yep, loving this. Does have the slight opportunity yet again now that the Parrot doesn't activate, but it would need to be that ridiculous scenario that we saw before, where the Giant Amalgam is far left from RDU and it goes into the Taunt, and then 1 out of 7s into the Goldrin on the far end as well. So very, very unlikely to happen.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic game. One of the most exciting I've seen. A lot of decision making here. You can see players who we may have thought were out were able to find ways to pull it back for their team, and it ends up, showcasing some of the consistency once again of these top players, right? Getting first place, second place 3 times in a row is not easy to do, and really shows how much practice they put in.
Yeah, and in the end, it was a me go first kind of battle, really, I think. I think first attack there was enormously favored in that final head-to-head that we had, and it was RDU that got it with his giant Wind Fury Amalgam that was able to snipe the Golden Baron before anything too horrible was able to happen for Habu Gabu. But forget about that. Forget about the result of the last fight. As Collins was saying, the story is just the absolute dominance of those 2 players as a team. And do you think, Collins, is it okay for me to say it now? Are they out of sight? Have they just won? Is it over at this point?
I would say no. That they're still not they're still not out of the woods yet, unfortunately. They still need to continue performing. They have an easier road ahead of them. They're 20 plus points ahead of their competition. So yes, they're definitely, they have a huge buffer, maybe the biggest buffer we're gonna see in all of the tournament so far, but I wouldn't say they can start slacking off yet. They still have to perform. Maybe if they keep doing it the next 3 rounds, then I'll give them the last round to do whatever they want.
Nah, I'm telling you, dude, RDU's going to be reading donations, thanking his subs. He's not going to be paying attention at all from this point on. Of course, I'm joking. They will continue to take it seriously throughout the whole tournament. But let's move them to one side just for now and focus on the other 3 teams, because there is still that second place to fight for, that all-important second place, because top 2 teams will progress through to Sunday. Right now, it's Alexis Diesel and Oliek who find themselves in the prime position to do that, but it's so tight and congested down the bottom, as you would expect, right? Because all the points have gone to the red team at this point. There's really not that many points to be sharing around between everyone else.
Yeah, I think no team should give up here. They're all pretty close in second place. And one thing you can do now is you can kind of forego whatever RDU and Habu Gabu is doing, right? If you see them in first or second, or if they're on the top of the leaderboard, just ignore them. Take out the other competition. They're the ones whose points, what they get, really matter. So there's a little bit of game plan that you can change up. You can do now if you want to secure second place.
Yeah, it's a very good point. It's something that we haven't seen too much of is, players trying to be strong against particular opponents just to knock them out of proceedings when they're direct rivals. We will potentially see if we have any of that left to do, but we are halfway through the day right now. I'm going to be pulling a long shift here, so I will be back after this short break, but Gia will be joining me, I believe. So do not go anywhere, guys. Second half of our Saturday here in the Hearthstone Battlegrounds EMEA Cup will be coming right at you.